You really do understand the common man, Ron.
Good, thanks.
And that's what's wrong with the show.
I'll be quite willing to pay you £100 a joke.
I can see you in London tomorrow.
How will I know you, sir?
Well, I shall be carrying a copy of my recently republished Wittgenstein's treatise on syndromes of inherited impulses.
I shall be carrying a copy of
Which one? What number?
The Exchange and Mart.
Good night and God bless. Tonight at 8:30 on ITV.
This is the Independent Broadcasting Authority. Hello again, and welcome to our weekly roundup of engineering announcements for the radio and television trade. It's 10 years since the first Oracle teletext transmissions, and last week the IBA and BBC received jointly the Queen's Award for Teletext Development. Pat Hawker looks back over an exciting decade.
In transmitter news, the Home Secretary's decision to advance the closure of 405 line stations, the arrival of Channel 4 at the Pendle Forest Relay in Lancashire, and there's full details of 4 brand new television relay stations. In Cornwall, there's Porthleven, and we've the latest on the interference problem which had arisen down there. In South Wales, Thleaswen, carrying HTV Wales and S4C. In Northern Ireland, Banbridge for Ulster Television and Channel 4. And in Somerset, there's Frome, carrying the programmes of HTV West and Channel 4.
Last week, the IBA's engineering division, together with our counterparts in the BBC, were honoured with the Queen's Award for Technological Achievement for work on our now familiar teletext system. Our photographer captured the moment for the archives with this shot of 2 senior IBA engineers involved in the development work. All this came hard on the heels of news from Bremer that teletext set deliveries rose massively in 1982, as we reported last week. Pat Hawker is with us again this morning, armed with more Oracle facts and figures. He's talking to Paul Capel.
How long has Oracle in fact been going?
Well, by coincidence, it's exactly 10 years since the very first experimental transmissions of Oracle, or rather the original Oracle scheme, because it's not the same as the early transmissions. And in fact, they went out for the very first time in April 1973 during, curiously enough, an engineering information announcements program.
How many sets would you estimate are in British homes now?
Oh, almost certainly 1 million. Last year, the Bremer figures gave 571,000, which was in fact a fantastic 168% increase on before. But if you add up all the years, it's pretty certain now that there are at least 1 million in the homes being used.
Do you expect this to rise and rise over the next few years, or...?
Well, we're certainly on the exponential part of the curve, as the market people say. I think there will still be an increase in the percentage of sales for some time to come. Of course, eventually you get to saturation, and then the percentage starts going down again, or at least the total number of new sets. But certainly at the moment, we're looking ahead for better and bigger figures.
Coming back to the technical aspects of Oracle again, have there been any new developments?
Well, the major development from a practical point of view has been the increase in the number of lines of data per field. We started off originally with 2. We're now at 4. There is a possibility that we shall in future go beyond that to 5 or even 6. And this is partly been made possible by the less susceptibility of receivers to data buzz or data interference on the picture.
Finally, could you sum up 10 years' achievement of Oracle?
Well, it's been a completely British development that has taken off, and I suppose one can claim it to be a new type of broadcasting, something entirely new, and perhaps the first entirely new type of broadcasting since television itself.
Pat Hawker there in a somewhat philosophical mood talking to Paul Capel. And from that latest television technology to the original technology, there's been an important development in the plans to close the 405-line transmitter network. The Home Secretary, Mr. Whitelaw, announced recently that the phased shutdown of the old duplicated service must be brought forward. The last transmitters will now close by the end of 1984 instead of 1986. This will clear bands 1 and 3 rather sooner than expected for use by mobile radio services. So far, we've closed 15 out of our 47 405-line stations, and when a new schedule is worked out, we'll let you have further details.
Meanwhile, Channel 4 coverage continues to expand, and Pendle Forest in Lancashire should be bringing the new channel to another 65,000 people by the end of this week, a couple of weeks ahead of schedule. The transmissions are on Channel 32, and official service is due on the 13th of May.
And now to special announcements for transmitters already in service. In East Anglia, the Tackleston main station continues on half-aerial reduced power on all channels for BBC aerial maintenance. The work is due to go on for another week or two.
In the northeast, Billsdale is also on reduced power on all channels for aerial work, which is due to finish later this week.
Still in the northeast, Pontock Pike is undergoing essential aerial work yesterday and today. Again, this means reduced power on all channels.
Advance warning that Chatton, the third main station in northeast England, is liable to periods of reduced power from next Tuesday for about 8 weeks. This is for major aerial maintenance.
And in Northern Ireland, the Belcoo relay should be off this morning until 10:15, and again this afternoon between 2 o'clock and 5:45 for essential maintenance.
New relays now, and in Cornwall, the trade tests at Porthleven were interrupted last week while some interference problems were sorted out. The station is intended to serve over 1,000 people in parts of Porthleven itself, including the town centre, along the shore and a small area in toll ponds. Following the recent tests, it's been decided that the original channel allocations will be retained. That's 23 for ITV and eventually 29 for Channel 4. But the polarisation is to be horizontal and not vertical as originally published. That's Porthleven, back on trade tests this week, but now with horizontal polarisation.
No such problems with Llyswen in South Wales, where the new relay entered full programme service last Friday. It's extending the UHF service to about 800 people in Llyswen itself, in Tolgarth and in parts of Bronthlis and surrounding rural areas. Programmes from HTV Wales are on Channel 24, with S4C on 31, so vertically polarised Group A areas should be used. Llyswen is now in full programme service.
In County Down, the new relay at Banbridge is due to start transmissions later this week. About 1,500 people should find that a much better signal becomes available in parts of North and East Banbridge and also in C. Patrick. Ulster Television will be on Channel 46 and Channel 4 will be on 50 from the very start. It's Group B aerials for Banbridge, vertically polarised, and the station is due on the air by the end of this week.
In Somerset, the new relay at Frome is due on the air in a week or two. The relay is designed to serve about 600 people in central parts of the town. ITV programmes are to be from HTV West on Channel 24, and the relay will also carry Channel 4 from the outset on 31. Aerials will have to be Group A, vertically polarised. Frome is expected to start transmissions by the end of next week.
That's about it for this week, and we leave you with our address in case you want to contact us. We hope you can join us again next week at the same time on all ITV, Channel 4 and S4C transmitters. So, from Murray Nicholson and myself, John Lovell, goodbye for now.